How y'all doing, YouTube? It's Sean Jackson again. I want to make a video about stocks because I get a lot of questions about how stocks work, and people are always nervous about investing in stocks because they don't understand it. And a lot of these big stock brokers want to make it more difficult than it is, so you give them their money. So that, you know what I'm saying? They want you to give your money to them so they can make a percentage of it. So what I'm saying is, it's a lot easier than people think. All you got to do is do a little bit of research, open up an app, and start putting money in. Just like anything, the more you do it, the better you get. So that's why this is why I want to talk about this today, because I don't trust anybody with my money, and I'm sure you don't either. Who would you trust with your money? You or somebody else? You, obviously, right? So that's why I want to make this video today. So we're going to start off like this, right? I got a little, my whiteboard. Number one, first thing you got to do is open up a stock portfolio. I don't care what app you use. My recommendation is the first app I used was Robinhood, just because it's very user-friendly. It's very, very user-friendly. And as you advance and get better and better, you can switch up. But Robinhood is very easy to use. That's where I started. You can put as little as $5 in there and start buying whatever you want. In 2018, my first stock I bought was CarMax. I put $35 in CarMax, right? So I just kept playing with it, buying more shares of stuff, Apple, Tesla. And I built it up to a good amount of money, over like 2-year period. I think I built it up to about $8 grand. And this was before I bought a house. I was living in my grandmother's basement. So me being young and dumb, instead of saving it to buy a house, I went out and bought 2 dirt bikes, right? And I still have them dirt bikes today, but I learned. So that's all I did was study stocks and real estate and crypto. So to say the least, I think it's a very, very good idea to start getting involved in the stock market, or at least asking somebody. If you have any questions, you can always call, email me, come to my house, sit down, and I'll explain it to you. Okay? Number two, are you a long-term investor or short-term? Meaning, I'm a long-term investor. So, here's what I mean by that. This is a quote from Warren Buffett. If you can't hold a company for 10 years, you shouldn't hold it for 10 minutes. What that means is, if you don't trust that company is going to be around for another 10 years, what makes you think it's going to be around for another 10 minutes, right? That's a good philosophy to go by. So, like, for example, Tesla. I truly, truly, truly believe Tesla will be around way longer than 10 years, so I invest in it. Because one day, everything's going to be electricity, whether you like it or not. Everything. Well, we will never go backwards when it comes to electronics. Like, I got a lot of people's parents say, my father-in-law, my wife's dad doesn't like the internet. Doesn't like, posting videos on YouTube. He always tells my daughter, once you post the videos, it's up in the air, and YouTube, it's always somewhere. But that's not the point. The point is, the internet's staying forever. We'll never go backwards. Eventually, it's always going to be electric cars. Everything will be electricity. It just get more and more and more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Of a, electronic world. Right? It's not going backwards. So the further and further we understand this, and the education we get, we'll be better off. Because I know a lot of older folks that don't even know how to work an iPhone or a cell phone or anything like that. And if you don't know how to work internet or technology, you're lost in this world. It's just the facts of it. You're lost. Okay, back to number 3. Your age and how aggressive you are. What I mean by that is, right? First, let's go back to number 2. Are you a long-term or short-term investor? I skipped that. Long-term and short-term. So if say you're 80 years old, right? And you're about to retire, you want to be in stocks that aren't volatile, that don't go up and down, because you're about to retire, so you want to take your money out soon. A short-term investor is somebody that buys and sells stocks within a week or a month or a year, right? A long-term investor is somebody that buys stocks and holds them for years down the road. See, I'm a long-term investor. I want to hold mine for years. I used to play that buy a stock, sell it next week, buy a stock, sell it a month later. I don't do that anymore. I buy and I hold. Every week, I have all my portfolios on auto. So every Friday, money comes out of my checking account and goes right in my portfolio and in my crypto portfolio, right? Because I'm young, so I'm aggressive with it. So, back to number 3. Your age and how aggressive you are. What I was just talking about. A 20-year-old should be more aggressive because you have a lot longer lifespan to live versus an 80-year-old. An 80-year-old shouldn't be putting their money in, a bunch of cryptocurrency and startup companies that might fail. An 80-year-old needs to take their money and put a little bit in bonds and like the S&P 500, safe companies that are going to keep their money secure until they retire, until they're ready to pull it out. But being a young person like me, I want to be aggressive as I can so I can make the most return out of my money as I can, if that makes any sense to you. So that's what I do. I'm very aggressive, right? Number 4, I didn't put it up there because it's a surprise. So if you watch this video all the way through, I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Number 4, a little trick that I do is I set my accounts up, right, on my on my Robinhood account, that it's on autopilot. So I don't have to do anything but work and go about my business. So every Friday, whether I'm sleeping, whatever I'm doing, working, home, playing with the kids, every Friday, money comes out of my account and buys cryptocurrency and stocks every Friday. It just happens like clockwork, so I don't even have to watch it, right? All I got to do is replenish my checking account by working. So that's why I do that, so I don't have to think about it. Because a lot of people don't do that, so that way, oh shit, Friday's coming, or I got to put some money in stock market. I do it automatically to where I don't even want to think about it. I just want it to happen automatically. And I also have a Roth IRA, which does the same thing. Every Friday, I put $100 a month in a Roth IRA. If you don't know what that is a non-taxable account. So when I'm 59 and a half years old, right, I started when I was 25. When I'm 59 and a half, say I have, 800,000, 1.2 million, it's tax-free. I get all that money tax-free. Hopefully I live that long, right? But that's just what I'm trying to educate people on, man. Investing, there's no way to wealth without investing. Maybe 80 years ago, like your parents used to say, a penny saved is a penny earned. That's not true anymore, right? If you save a penny, it's just a penny, right? You cannot save your way to wealth. Just like, look at our bank accounts. The interest they're paying on our bank accounts is crazy, right? It's actually should be against the law how low it is. Because everything's going up but our pay and our interest on our bank accounts. It is ridiculous. Minimum wage job can no longer support a family, period, right? And unless people stand up and start talking about this, it'll never change, right? So that's my rant for today. And I just wanted to educate you guys on how everything's working and how my life is with this, with investing and stuff like that. And then eventually, I think I want to make a cryptocurrency video, give you an idea about how that works, because I know that's very confusing. But I think you should start off with stocks, right? Stocks meaning get a Robinhood account and link it to your bank account. If you need help, you can always message me, comment, call me if you know me, whatever. You open up a Robinhood account. It's the easiest account to use. And what you do is, once you open up the account, right, you gotta link it to your bank account. So if you say you have M&T Bank like I do, I have the app. So that means I have a username and a password. So you link your username and password to Robinhood, and it links your account to where you can transfer money back and forth, right? So then, once you open Robinhood, what I suggest is don't just, go buy a bunch of random companies. Here's how I started, right? For the females, I know my wife goes to Starbucks almost every day, right? So go buy a couple shares of Starbucks, because if she buys five shares of Starbucks and tomorrow she goes to Starbucks and waiting in line, she owns part of Starbucks. Like, don't get it twisted. When you own a share of a company, you are part owner. Now, obviously, if you only own $100 in Starbucks, you don't have a lot of say. But if you own 100 million in Starbucks, you have a lot of say, because every month I get a packet in the mail from the companies that I own: Apple, Tesla, Starbucks, Vanguard, Realty Income, and it gives me a letter saying that we're voting on this, we're voting on that, and I have the option to vote on whatever they're trying to pass, is what I'm saying. So that means I'm part of the company. My vote matters. But obviously, the more shares you have, the more your vote matters. But my point I'm getting to, when she goes to Starbucks and buys these $5 coffees, at least it's not for nothing. At least she owns the company, so it might make her feel good. Like, damn, I own this Starbucks, so when I do buy this coffee, it's kind of helping my stock grow, right? Or like with my kids, I own Walt Disney. So when I take my kids to Disney World, I'm like, Daddy owns part of this. Nuh-uh, do you really do? I'm like, yeah, Daddy owns part of the Walt Disney World. So I'm trying to get people. I think that's where you should start, because people are always like, where do I start investing? Start buying companies that you use on the regular. Starbucks. Do you go to Walmart, right? Do you wear Nike? Buy Nikes. Do you have an iPhone? Put some money in Apple, right? Buy things that you already use. And then after that, then you can get deeper into companies that you think are going to be big, like Tesla and Amazon, da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm real big into infrastructure companies like, VTI and stuff like that. So start buying things that you use, right? See this hat? Chanel, okay? It's a brand. Buy things you use. Timberland. I wear Nike boots a lot. I buy Nike. That's where you should start, right? Start buying things that you consume. And that's the best way to start in the stock market. See, I feel like a lot of these brokers that want you to come to their office and give you their money and give them your money to invest, they're taking a percentage off the top. Nobody cares about your money more than you do. So, open your own brokerage account on Robinhood or any other account. If you need help, I will show you along the way. It's the best way to do it. Okay? If you have any questions or you want to comment, I'll leave you my number. If you know me, call me, and I promise you I will help you. I appreciate you watching all the way through. If you got any information out of this video, please like and subscribe, because when you do that, the YouTube algorithm sends it through YouTube and lets a lot of other people watch it. I appreciate your time. Thank you.